It's not the greatest, it's not safe, it's not healthy.
Body art like tattoos is popular, but it may cost you your health. Fargo Cass Public Health Environmental Division issued a warning today about an increased risk of contracting HIV or hepatitis if body art procedures like tattoos are done by unlicensed artists. Valley News Team's Molly Casey visited a local body art shop to find out what it takes to be licensed and what you should watch out for.
They become a permanent part of who you are. But before getting inked, it's important to know who's behind the needle.
You can do all kinds of research online on establishments that are tattooing, but I think the most important is actually going and checking it out yourself.
Trent Balvich has been a licensed tattoo artist for over 16 years and says he's seen his share of homemade tattoos.
We fix a lot of those, actually.
But some side effects of illegal body art procedures aren't so easily fixed. The Fargo Cass County Health Department released a warning today after reports of individuals being infected with HIV or hepatitis from illegal body art procedures.
People think they know what they're doing and find out it's a lot harder than what they think.
Artists must pass CPR and bloodborne pathogen courses, be vaccinated for hepatitis B, and have hours logged in a licensed shop.
You do have a few steps that you have to take before you can actually become a licensed artist.
Each body art shop also has to apply for and maintain a license through the Fargo Cass County Health Department, and officials do stop by for surprise compliance checks.
Keeps people on their toes, make sure that they can come in every day, so you're prepared every day for it.
Artists or establishments found out of health department compliance or without licensing can face up to $1,000 in fines. And while body art like tattoos is costly, so are the risks of getting it done illegally.
Stay with us. We also have more information about this story on our website. For that, head to valleynewslive.com. But first, coming up after weather, this 19-year-old who faces a manslaughter charge is now out of jail after a deadly social media stunt. Plus, Fargo police say that at least 8 cars and parts of a building were vandalized by someone hoping to spread a message. But Robert, it's turned into a pleasant evening after dealing with some gray skies. What's in store for the rest of the night?
Yeah, a pretty nice night out there. Still dealing with a bit of rain up in northern Minnesota, but here in the Fargo-Moorhead area, a few clouds, the setting sun, setting a nice, shaping up to be a nice sunset here. In the next little while, we take a live look outside on the CorwinAuto.com Valley Skycam, part of the Storm Team Skycam network. We've dipped down into the middle 60s, 66 degrees now. Those winds out of the north at 10 miles per hour. Those winds will become rather light as we head through the overnight hours. 70 in Gwinner, 70 in Langdon, 71 in Jamestown, 68 in Valley City, 71 down in the Sisseton area. Some low 60s off towards northern Minnesota. That's where we've got the clouds and still some lingering rain showers there. Winds much lighter than they were earlier today. They become very light tonight, and with some leftover moisture around, could see some fog developing as we head towards tomorrow morning. There are the clouds that continue to make their way off towards the east and the northeast, but more clouds on the way off towards the west. I mentioned the rain in northern Minnesota. There it is. It's becoming much lighter, but it's going to stick around for the next couple of hours before finally getting on out of here around midnight or 1 o'clock. Across the northern plains, some showers and thunderstorms. Still a couple of tornado watches off to our east and southeast, and there has been numerous confirmed tornadoes, particularly in the state of Iowa as we've gone through this afternoon and this evening, and still some active severe thunderstorm and tornado warnings in northern portions of Missouri, stretching all the way up into northern portions of Illinois. For us, we've got those rain showers up in northern Minnesota again. It's going to be a few hours before they finally get on out here. By about 2 o'clock, they're finally going to exit the area. By tomorrow morning, though, could see some fog developing over parts of the area. I don't think it's going to be widespread and particularly dense, but you could see some patches of dense fog out there as you head out the door early tomorrow morning. So keep that in mind. Give yourself a few extra minutes to reach your destination. As we go through the day tomorrow, some partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies and a chance for some late day showers and thunderstorms across the region. High temperatures tomorrow mostly in the 70s. We'll cool it down into the 60s as we head into tomorrow evening. Here in Fargo, we'll start off the day in the mid-50s with a chance for a little bit of fog around the area. Some partly to mostly cloudy skies by your lunch hour and warming it on up into the mid-70s. And later on in the day, a chance for some isolated showers, maybe some rumbles of thunder, and temperatures in the upper 70s. Picture of the day, a gorgeous shot of a sunset in Mentor, Minnesota. Thanks to Naomi for sending that in. We're going to use that as the background to our 7-day forecast. 4th of July weekend right around the corner. Late day showers and storms tomorrow. A chance for more showers and storms Friday. The chance for storms Saturday looks to be very early in the day, and then the rest of the day looks good. Sunday looks good. Monday looks good. Tuesday looks great. And warming it on up into more summer-like temperatures just in time for your 4th of July. Back into the low and mid 80s Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
And it's far out, but if you're curious to know how the conditions are going to look for fireworks, just keep it tuned to the Valley News Live Storm Team weather app, and we'll get you all set.
And right now it's looking good, and the rain that we've gotten over much of the area, that's going to help quell any fire dangers, at least in the short term, but keep it tuned to the latest forecast.
Of course. Thank you, Robert.
You got it.
The woman facing a manslaughter charge in what is being called a YouTube stunt gone wrong is now out of jail on a conditional release. 19-year-old Mona Lisa Perez was released from jail on a bail of $7,000. Under the conditions of her release, Perez will have to wear a GPS monitor and have no access to firearms. She was initially held on charges of firing a gun recklessly, but charges were upgraded late this morning to manslaughter. The family of Pedro Ruiz says he gave a .50 caliber handgun to Perez on Monday night and insisted she shoot it at a book he was holding, thinking it would stop the bullet. Although the couple had reportedly tested the stunt before, it did not work this time. Ruiz died at the scene. In tonight's schemes and ripoffs, scammers are once again calling residents impersonating in the FM area, but this time it's an official, and it's in Moorhead. Someone is calling from a phone number and identifying themselves as Moorhead Police Chief David Ebbinger. This exact scam went through Cass County just 2 weeks ago when callers were claiming they were Cass County Sheriff Paul Laney. Police are encouraging anyone who receives these calls to call the Red River Regional Dispatch Center at 701-451-7660. That number is located on your screen, and report the incident. And if you've had enough with telemarketers, scammers, and robocalls, you are not alone. Lisa Grafsgaard from Devil's Lake says she was getting around 20 calls a day from Jamaican numbers saying her family had won the lottery. They didn't fall for the scam, but she says she couldn't take the calls anymore and then signed up for a program through her phone company to screen out those telemarketers.
It's so hard on your family when the kids answer the phone and they're getting swore at. You don't know what to do. So when this phone system idea came out, that was the best thing for us.
Grafsgaard says there is a charge through her phone company, but says it stopped all the spam calls and it's well worth it. Some Fargo residents were in for a rude awakening this morning when a whole parking lot of cars was hit by a vandal. Now police are on the lookout for the person responsible. Valley News Team's Clint DeRose has much more.
Rubbing alcohol was a hot commodity in the parking lot for the historic Union apartment complex after a particularly rough morning.
Walk outside the building, immediately notice that some of the vehicles had some writing on them.
Fargo police say that at least 8 cars in parts of the building were vandalized by someone hoping to spread a message. Working with a moving canvas didn't seem to agree with that.
There were a few that were just like a random word.
Just kind of random thoughts, I guess, of his own.
The unwilling participants in this art project were left to deal with the results on top of their usual responsibilities.
I was kind of angry. I was disappointed, but didn't have a lot of time to think about it because I had to get to work.
While the temporary headache is definitely annoying, tenants don't really see this as a big problem going down the road.
This would be a super rare occurrence. I've never really heard of anything like this happening.
Because I really haven't seen this kind of action or this kind of stuff taking place very often around here.
As they're seeing firsthand today, uncommon doesn't mean impossible. In Fargo, Clint DeRose, Valley News Live.
While vandalism victims did have to spend some extra elbow grease, there was no physical damage reported. Fargo police have not yet released information on a suspect. But if you need help uncovering fraud and corruption in your community, be sure to call us on our whistleblower hotline. That number is 701-237-6576 and leave your tip. A member of our investigative team will get on the case and go to work to expose the truth. An unusual problem popped up for emergency workers as storms rolled through the valley last night and into the early morning. There was a brief power outage in South Fargo, but what we're learning is people started to call 911 to report these outages. It quickly becomes a problem because it ties up the dispatch center's phone lines since they have to answer every single call. And they can't page out the fire or police departments or any ambulances if they're tied up with your power outage report.
There are also possibly trees down, flooding, wires down, things of that nature that are actual emergencies that can impact people's well-being and life, and we need to address those. And when we're taking calls of simple power outages, it does tie up our resources and delays our ability to get to the actual emergencies.
And chances are they're already aware there's an outage in the area. Cat's Cradle Shelter in Fargo released this video to Valley News Live earlier today. The cat you see struggling to get around was found with gunshot wounds in Sheldon, North Dakota. The shelter was contacted by someone who found 4 kittens under a shed. This 6-week-old kitten named Mavis was shot 7 times with lead pellets, and as you can see, Mavis has to drag half of her body as she tries to get around. We also got a look at her x-ray, which shows the pellets she was hit with. Mavis is now in stable condition, and shelter officials say that Mavis now has feeling in her legs and can move them a little bit. But if you'd like to donate to the shelter to help out Mavis, we've got a link on our website. Go to valleynewslive.com and click on this story.